Since joining Elle as creative director in 2007, Josie has shaped, defined, and strengthened not only a magazine, but also a brand. Here, he tells us how. This is Media Beat.
Look, things change.
Anyone with a camera and a computer
now,
is
so
good
we
idea.
should pay attention to
What's the
where
user
they are.
value
We evolve.
Thank you for being with us. You've been creative director of Elle Magazine since 2007. And for those who don't really know what a creative director does, can you give us an idea of a typical day at the office for you, if there is a typical day?
Oh God, I wanted to say there is actually really no typical day. And there's actually no real typical job duties, I think, for a creative director, because that sort of really differs from place to place. And I think in the world of fashion, that's sort of an interesting, sort of nebulous title. I work with all the visuals from cover to cover, so that when you read the magazine, whether it's the model, the celebrity, the styling, the fashion, the photography, all those things come into my play. And it's really helping to define a visual signature for the magazine. And that was an important thing for me coming there initially, to establish that type of identity.
What do you consider the Elle brand, and who is the Elle Girl?
Well, I think a really good friend of mine said this, and I think she's absolutely right. She said it's the thinking woman's fashion magazine. We never throw things at you. We never judge you. We never tell you this is the way it has to be. I offer you suggestions, and you get to take that and absorb it, and then you get to make that work for you, and that we help everyone embrace who they are. I think a big mantra when I got there was that, you know, someone said to me, we embrace personal style. I said, not only are we going to embrace it, we're going to sing it from the mountaintops, because what I love about personal style is that it says all of you, every single person is right in how they approach fashion. It's just what works for you. So we're going to actually help you be the best version of yourself, so that you don't all have to become homogenous ideas of what fashion is or who the woman is, but we're going to make you the best woman you can be, and you're going to use these tools that we present you.
And you are a self-described pop culture freak. Was one of your initiatives at Elle, through your A to Z column and through other ways, to kind of inject more of a pop culture feel to the magazine?
Yeah, I mean, I hope that that's really sort of what we've done at the magazine. You know, I think both myself, Robbie Myers, who's the editor, we love pop culture. I love it, and I think when you read my column every month, A to Z, it's just infused with pop culture, and I always try to find a humorous take into it. I always try to have a little bit of fun with it. It's fashion, and I want everyone to come into my world of fashion and have fun, and I know how intimidating this world can be for those not in it, and if I could just shatter that intimidation a little bit every single time with something fun and interesting, then I'm doing my job. That's all I ever wanted. I wanted people to feel like they're not scared of this industry and the people in it, but that they want to be able to hang out with us.
And of course, Elle Magazine, really a pioneer in the reality show world, becoming involved with Project Runway from season 1 of the show. How important do you think it is for a magazine to be involved in multi-channel sort of media, and particularly with reality television?
It's really crossed that line from magazines not wanting to touch reality television to them clamoring to want to be a part of every single show. And I think I've seen that really change in the last few years. And do I think it's important for magazines to be a part of it? I think it's important for magazines to become a brand and not just a magazine. And I think that's what Elle has done. And I think for magazines to survive as we keep moving forward into the future, is that they have to become a brand. So yes, what does a brand mean? Do they have to be on television? Absolutely. Do they have to have a huge internet presence? Absolutely. Do they have to be on mobile phones and you know, three-dimensional things? Absolutely. You have to be able to present a 360 experience to your readers.
And you've, of course, made yourself very accessible via Twitter, and I know people write to you a lot with your column. So are there any style questions that you're kind of just sick to death of hearing at this point?
I don't know if there's any style questions I get sick of hearing. You know, I like to try to help people as much as I can. Clearly, I can't sit at my desk all day and be Dear Abby on Twitter. I mean, that would be a full-time job. But I love hearing from people, and I think that's sort of why I've always embraced Twitter. I think it's interesting to have that dialogue. I think that's, you know, people don't get that, you know? But I think the biggest question I get all the time is people want my job. How do I do what you do? You know, and I think there's a very glamorized version of what I do. And I love my job, and it definitely is glamorous after all these years, but there was a lot of years of no glamour to get to that point.